Hey, welcome back to the show. I eventually managed to borrow an old Marshall Valvestate Model 8100. It's made famous by Chuck Schuldiner in the 90s, and I haven't heard one for so long. And all I remember about these is they had this really nasty sort of crunchy distortion going on. They were just really brutal in many ways, but I never really appreciated how cool they were and how unique the tone was. I've only been playing this one for a few hours, and I'm just blown away how really cool and subtle these things are. It's got a hair of a bit of chorus over the top of it. It's a really strange sort of tone. The bass is boomy, the top's really harsh and crunchy, there's sort of scoop mids, but with my guitar just going straight into the front of the amp, there's no noise gate, there's no effects, there's no boost, there's nothing. I'm just utilising a little bit of the reverb on the amp. We're on the OD2, just pushing the gain to max. I've never actually seen the settings that Chuck used when he dialed in this amp, but I've only been using it a little while, and straight away I realised that you just need to have the OD2 engaged. I've just got the gain on max, I've got the bass up a little bit, the middle's just brought back slightly, the treble's near at noon, and the contour is just about all the way over to 3 o'clock. And I understand with this amp, if you just use the contour dial, you sort of try and manipulate it and work it with the mid control and just find a point where it balances. And I just find right here at 3 o'clock, it just seems to sit with the mid straight up. If I keep on winding that too far, it just sucks too much mids out of the amp. And even if I turn the mid dial to compensate, it's still not enough. But to me, this just sounds like Chuck Schuldiner. It's absolutely iconic, and every time I just try and dial this in with software or different pieces of gear, I can never manage just to really get that same sort of disgusting crunchy top end. It's almost like there's different ingredients coming out with this amp, and you can just hear that slight chorus, you can hear the treble on the surface. It's not really mixing or blending with the mids or the bass. They just seem really separate and like different amps coming from different areas. It's totally unique sound. I've not heard any amp even get close to sounding like this. It's just such a weird sort of amp. Like, it's got that slanted front panel. The effects send and return is in the front side of it, and it's totally unique. It's so 90s. It's so cool. And for the guitar I'm using today, it's the last time I'll be using the Dean Zero Select. I did a review on this a few weeks ago. Absolutely crazy good guitar. It's got the Fishman Fluence pickups in it and everything. I just absolutely love playing this guitar, but I've got to send it back to Dean Guitars, but it's an absolutely beautiful instrument. I've really enjoyed just playing it these last few weeks, but I guess it's a great way just to see it out playing some death on this amp. And outputting the tone from the amp just to get to the audio interface, we're going through the 2 notes Torpedo Captor X. I'm simulating a vintage 30 Marshall 412 cab with a single SM57 pushed up to it, and that's just delivering the whole tone today. But it's all just coming from the amp, but I thought we'll just experiment just with the dials just a little bit and just see where it takes us. But to me, this is the tone that just seems to capture it perfectly. And what I really love about this amp that stands out to me is when you're chugging down on that E string, it's just really fat and heavy. But when it comes time to those single string riffs, those notes just seem to almost, they pop out as almost like they've been mixed on a record properly. Like, it's just the way that it all blends together. Those single notes just really seem to pop out and you can hear them with exceptional clarity, but it's just really heavy still on those chunks. But turning the contour now, we'll just turn it further up. If we turn up the mids just to compensate for that loss. I'll turn them all the way up. I think it's just a little bit much when you just turn that contour up. That's only the difference between going from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock. If we take that all the way up to full, I think it's just a little bit much. I think going back to there, we'll try the contour more up at 12 o'clock or so. Bring the mids back. Oh. Oh. The volume pot in this is just really badly corroded. I thought it was the contour knob. I don't think it matters too much where you turn that contour dial, as long as you just play it off with the mid control. And if you turn up that contour, you've just got to add the mids respectively, and turning it down, you just take them away. But I just think when it's at about 3 o'clock and the mids are just before lunchtime, you just get the sort of really balanced sort of tone that Chuck mostly uses on those albums. It was quite nice though before when I turned up that contour. I know it scooped out the mids just a little bit too much, but it was a really cool tone just sitting here playing these riffs on your own. I get a little carried away playing those riffs. They're just so fun, but especially when the sound is just like it is. It just sounds so much like the record. I've tried to capture this sound many times over, but after hearing it through the 8100, it's totally unique. Master Effects did a fantastic job with the Marta preamp pedal though that he did, and it's absolutely fantastic. This is about as close as you get without actually having an 8100. It's got most of all the dynamics, the same sort of contour dial. I've done videos on this pedal before. It's absolutely kick-ass, but playing through the real amp with the single valve and the solid state technology, nothing just seems to react exactly the same as that. And I find that the reverb control as well, it adds that sort of dimension that Chuck had on his records. If we turn that down to nothing, but that's about it, guys. It's been an absolute blast playing through this today. Just using the Zero for the last time, getting to use the 8100. This is just really cool. I was looking forward to it all week. But until next time, guys, take care. I'll see you all.